Hey folks, MasakoX here. We've had a lot of people discovering this channel in recent weeks, so first of all, I would like to say thank you for your time and welcome to my content, as well as letting you know the basic premise of this particular outing today. Something that started off so simple and quaint, and yet it probably made the most waves of any story that Haverock and I have come up with on this channel over the years that we've been working together. And it has something to do with the work ethic of Goku. Had he won that first tournament that he competed in against Jackie Chun, he wouldn't have learnt an important life lesson that has become synonymous with the character ever since. That you should never assume that you are the best. That someone out there will be better than you and could come for you at any moment, so be ready. But now Goku thought he was the best and always would be. Anyone else who outperformed him subsequently would be just a cheater, and that made him a really nasty person to be around, and acquire 5 o'clock shadow. In the last part, thanks to Jerku's meddling and mistrusting of Cell, Trunks in this timeline had tried his best against Perfect Cell, but it wasn't enough, just like in the original. The Bugman, however, enjoyed playing with his food and decided to send in his diabolical progeny into the fray and have them compete against the Dragon team. As you can imagine, this experience feels rather devastating to all those that thought that they could stand around there and do nothing and go, no way, another attack? You know, like in most Dragon Ball sagas when you don't have some Saiyan in you, stop it! Before all that went down though, we had the unexpected item in the fighting area, that being Chi-Chi, the 24th World Martial Arts Champion, replacing Hercule in that role. She went into the ring knowing full well that she could not win against Cell, but darn it, she was going to at least try and give him a fair fight as best she could. Goku knew though that this was a fool's errand, but Cell gave her a reprieve and told her to wait her turn. She will get a chance to make the biggest and last mistake of her life soon. Let's resume and see where this iteration of the Cell games will go. Amidst all the chaos, Krillin approached the young future man and gave him a senzu bean, dodging the attacks from the Cell Juniors as best he could at the same time. Thank you. We need to take them down. But I don't understand how or whether it's even possible now. Vegeta then scoffed at the boy's lamentations and, despite everything that he had been through, still chose to rub salt into the wounds of many about their predicament.
Can't you see it, boy? He defeated you without putting all that much effort into his attacks. It's useless to even think we can win. We're simply not strong enough. That's the cold, hard truth.
Trunks looked at his father for a while, then moved his gaze onto Raditz, Goku and Nappa, who were busy trying to swat away the Cell Juniors, not making much progress though. But at least they were trying. Trunks got up and dusted himself off after the effects of the bean had fully processed. Vegeta looked dumbfounded.
What do you think you're doing? You're going to get yourself killed! I'd rather try and die than surrender like a coward! My father taught me that!
The prince looked away, kind of overwhelmed with Trunks' gaze and steely response. Not a trace of doubt in there.
Then, your father was a fool!
Trunks smirked and turned his gaze back onto his enemies.
He had his moments,
he said before joining the others. As Trunks had received a minor power boost from his fight against Perfect Cell earlier, as well as his recovery thanks to the bean, he now was actually able to do some damage against the Cell Juniors. Luckily, they were far less durable than the real article, so Cell was genuinely impressed when the Future Warrior had managed to, after some considerable effort though, decimate one of them, the imp exploding in a puff of smoke as Trunks tore through it. Cell loomed over them and boomed his satisfaction. My! Someone's managed to scrape together a second wind, I see. I should outlaw those pesky little beans from my games, but I would be lying if I said that I didn't like the challenge. Seeing Trunks being able to hold his own against one Cell Jr., the Saiyans were then emboldened in their cause, stealing their resolve and deciding to unite once more against the remaining Bug Boys, just like they practiced. Even Vegeta, whose fighting spirit had been broken, was quite impressed by this display. Despite them all being tired and weathered from the previous altercations, they managed to destroy the miniature maniacs, little by little. With each passing victory, the prospects were getting more and more enticing. The last Cell Jr. was left quivering with fear. He begged for mercy at the feet of Raditz, apologizing for everything that he had done and for being a pest, wanting to be spared. Cell looked down at his last son and scowled. There's always a weak link in every chain. Raditz, though, was not in a forgiving mood. Hello, little bug. You've been a very bad boy. Time for me to send you to boot camp. With that, Raditz thrust his boot onto the bug's head and smushed it with every ounce of strength he had. The crunch felt good after all the things those junior jerks had done to them. Cell wasn't mad. Instead, he clapped. He respected their efforts. Well, that was entertaining. So, Trunks, are we ready for round 2? Trunks eyed him up with gusto. With pleasure. Trunks charged at Cell and went for his head, deeming that the weak spot if they were ever going to get anywhere with him. But even with his small increase in power, the original Cell was still too much for him. The boy was trying to take all the hits that were falling upon him, dancing around his enemy, trying to tucker him up. But the Bugman didn't just want to defeat Trunks or kill his opponent. Oh no, he wanted to break his spirit. He was willing to wait out the clock and see Trunks grow ever more weary and ever more desperate. Then he would make his move. Cell managed to catch him by the arm with little exertion. On the sidelines, Nappa was getting concerned that Cell, instead of giving him a good fight, was just toying with him.
Vegeta, this is a trap! This won't end well for the boy. We gotta go help him! Yes, you should be there helping him, not standing around licking your wounds!
Vegeta wasn't in the mood to listen.
Get off my back, you two! Or did you actually manage to grow some spines? Do it yourself!
Neither his former lackeys were going to bite.
I just don't understand why you're so afraid! You've been the one telling us for years that weakness is not to be tolerated! And here you go acting like a whining baby! He's got you there, Vegeta. I never took you for someone who would shirk a battle. Shut up! You don't understand!
Vegeta's eyes were wide and frantic, but Raditz shrugged, unmoved by the prince's protestations.
You're right. We do not. We're not princes, Nappa and I, clearly. So it's either two things. Either what you've been preaching at us for years since we met you was all bull, or you're simply not cut out to be a warrior.
Goku looked at his brother in a stern manner. Even for him, that was a low blow. Raditz, that's enough.
What?
Moaned Raditz.
We're just trying to motivate him. I mean, I like Trunks, and I don't think Vegeta would like to see Cell killing his own son.
Vegeta blinked, his eyes once again bulbous.
My what? What, you really didn't know? Oh, come on, it's kind of obvious, isn't it, Vegeta? He's from the future, he kind of looks like you, and you morons knew. Kakarot, did you know too?
Goku looked very sheepishly at him and nodded. The fire was starting to burn once more within him.
You fools. You bunch of fools!
Vegeta powered up with a newfound strength, and just when Cell was about to pierce Trunks' chest with his arm, the prince caught his strike with all the might he could muster.
You see, Nappa, I knew we should have told him sooner. Look what it produced. I just can't believe he never figured it out. What a Dumbo!
Back in the ring, Cell was astonished to see Vegeta doing something. Oh, how cute! You're going to defend your son now? It's hilarious, actually. That you need all your power simply to hold my arm.
Final Flash!
Or if you want to follow the meme,
Multi-Parade Final Flash! Oh shit!
as Vegeta pierced his final flash through Perfect Cell's body. Stop it! The prince quickly flew back down to Earth and examined what had happened to his boy. He seemed badly beaten up and barely conscious, but he was alive.
Trunks! Vegeta yelled. Father, I don't think we have much time. I need to get you out of here.
But Cell, despite his attack, was back in the room. You know, Vegeta, his voice booming over their heads just as the dust was settling, as impressive as that blast might have been, it was merely an annoyance. They saw their opponent quickly reforming from the wounds that Vegeta's strongest attack had tried to cause. But at the end of the day, it was all just a minor inconvenience. Cell gritted his teeth and started to charge his own attack. Stop right there! Someone ran in front of Trunks and Vegeta. These two are in no condition to fight! Surely you can see that! You've been prattling on about wanting a fair challenge ever since we got here. Well, I'm battle ready, and I'm challenging you, Cell! That person was Chi-Chi. Much to everyone's astonishment, she was standing there, seriously, and in full battle mode. Cell tilted his head, blinked, and then started to laugh. Oh dear! Oh, your overconfidence has made you delusional! But having said that, oh how I love your puny and hopeless sense of courage. You know what? Why not? There'll be some challenge to have afterward, and while it tries to pull itself together, I might as well have some fun. Chi-Chi! Don't be stupid! Goku yelled at her, Cell putting his hand out toward him. You heard the lady. She has chosen her fate. Stand in line. She did. Good news, Prince, you get a pass. Now take your boy and go. I can't stand looking at you for a second longer. This Chi-Chi has cheered me right up. Goku, ignoring Cell's rejection, flew in front of him. Fight me instead! You know that she stands no chance! A loud slap could be heard as Chi-Chi smacked Goku with an open palm. Stop speaking for me, you arrogant, feckless excuse of a hero! This is my choice to make! It's a stupid choice! Well then, at least we have something in common. Ooh, gonna need a sensu for that one. Goku was left speechless as Chi-Chi walked up to Cell, turning her back on the Saiyan who slowly descended to the ground, not wanting to look. You had the first hit, Princess. Just, you know, choose wisely. I would hate for your last emotion you'll be experiencing to be disappointment. She looked at the Bugman with tension spreading through her body. For a moment, though, it was only just a staring contest. But after a few seconds, Chi-Chi attacked with lightning speed, hitting the top of Cell's head, or crown, right between the flaps of it. Cell smiled. It did nothing. If this is going to be any consolation for you, I wasn't expecting that. He grabbed her arm. But that's the only nice thing I can say about that attack. Chi-Chi tried to attack once more. She was kicking and punching like crazy. But Cell was just holding her arm as she was flapping around, and with one quick gesture, he broke it. Chi-Chi bit her lip, trying not to yell in agony. She didn't want to give Goku the satisfaction. With her good arm, she clawed at Cell's eye and managed to puncture it, which infuriated him to the point of tossing her away with full force into the ground, causing a mighty explosion. Cell was clutching his face as it naturally regenerated. He growled, "A cheap shot! Stop this madness now!" Goku rushed in again and charged at Cell, starting to fight him, but at this point, he was weaker than Trunks. Chi-Chi, though, was back on her feet. Hey! She screamed at Goku. I didn't hear no bell! She jumped back in with her arm still broken, attempting to attack the bug, but Cell just effortlessly punched her back down again. Goku was furious, but his attacks were highly ineffective. But he wasn't giving up. In the background, they both heard Chi-Chi's voice, as she was, using her one arm, charging an attack. May. As Cell kicked Goku away, he saw the blue sphere emanating from the Princess of the Fire Mountain. As the blast connected with the Bugman, he simply deflected it with his own. Goku looked in terror as Chi-Chi accepted her fate. Why? Why did she do this? Memories were dancing through his mind. The fight with Ten Shinhan, his demeanor toward Chi-Chi, his anger. He did this. He did this to her. He allowed that monster to feed. Not Vegeta. Not really. It was all his fault. For all those years, his anger was directed at other people. But in truth, his anger was misguided. The only one to blame for Goku was Goku. He took all the anger he had and exploded with power, much to everyone's shock. What's this? A new trick? That won't save you now. Cell spat out some teeth when Super Saiyan 2 Goku charged at him and punched him through the cheek, followed by another punch, then another, and then another. Cell was slowly losing his cool when he realized that this new transformation was stronger than he was. What is this trickery? You're cheating! You dirty cheater! Cell yelled at him, bleeding and trying to prepare an attack. Goku, though, was steadfast. Careful, Cell. Your me is showing. Goku then broke his jawline, and before Cell could think about a revenge plan, he charged up a powerful Kamehameha. Seeing what he was doing, Krillin, Vegeta, Nappa, Piccolo and Raditz all charged their own attacks to make sure that there won't be any Cell left to regenerate. As Cell was yelling and cursing at them, he was evaporated without a chance to return. The android threat was over. Still, they weren't celebrating just yet. They still had to revive the victims. And that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now. If you'd like to see a timeline where Cell is a little more benevolent, check out this timeline here, where he becomes a good boy and has a family. It's quite wholesome, I think. But I shall see you in the next video. Catch you later!